This is going to be the air signs video today. So let's clear the space. I'm going to be using cassia bark and my breath to clear the space for you this morning. Hi, countries of the world. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. Hi, Kayla's lovely. It's good to see you again. Happy Wednesday. Just relax. You may close your eyes if you like. Start thinking of the things that you'd like to have answered in the reading. Alright, so if you would, for me please, take a deep, deep breath. Oh yes, that's good. I invite you to do so. Take a deep breath in. Gently, gently, gently. And then just kind of sigh out. Let the air come out of your nose and your mouth. We're going to do that a couple more times. So go ahead and inhale. Gently, 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 gently. And hold. And sigh out. I think it's been at least a few months now, right, that you've been coming to the live streams. And I appreciate you taking on the task of moderator, of course. And one more deep breath. And sigh it out. So, the cards that I will be using this week, I have this tiny little deck. They're very cute cards. And they go along with my theme for the week. My coffin theme. I also have this deck of playing cards, which was illustrated by the artist Valfrey. also want to mention that when I'm done over here, I'll be going over to the members side of the channel to do the crystal scrying readings for the air signs, and I'll be using this geode crystal for the scrying. So you are cordially invited to join us over there. But of course, your presence is appreciated in whatever form it takes. I'm just gonna move you a little bit like that. Good. Good, good, good. Alright, so we're going to start with the air sign of Gemini. And I'm going to go ahead and shuffle your cards. The format of the readings is a little bit different this week because this deck is only major arcana. And so, I'm going to pull 3 cards from this deck and then 3 clarifiers from the playing card deck. For each of the major arcana cards. You'll see when we get into it. And now the playing cards. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like having the little details. I'm finally to a point with the channel where I feel like I add a lot more of those. All right. 9 of Swords, Pentacle, Ace of Wands, 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, King of Wands. Okay. So now I'm gonna mark down your timestamps. Okay. So for the past, Gemini, the first card I have for you is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is a card about social norms, the prevailing trends of human experience. The Hierophant also acts as an intermediary between the higher power and the public at large, and so holds a lot of power in that capacity. A leader in religious terms and spiritual terms, but not necessarily in the same terms as the emperor, but we'll get there. So clarifying the Hierophant, we have the 9 of Swords. This can be about anxiety or sleepless nights, being unable to sleep. If you are somebody who does a lot of dream work, and this card is coming out for you, Gemini, because you are somewhat of a spiritual leader, having these sleepless nights would interfere with any kind of dream work you would be doing. Anxiety and stress, perhaps because of acting as an intermediary for others. The next clarifier that I have for the Hierophant is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is somebody who speaks their truth, regardless of if it is the prevailing popular attitude or if it even has the potential to harm people. It is the truth, and it must come out. There might be something that you're having to say, and it's causing you some anxiety at this time. And it might have to do with your morals. It might have to do with acting as an intermediary in a situation, also, Gemini. The final clarifier that I have for our past position card, the Hierophant, is the King of Pentacles. And this King of Pentacles is somebody who is very powerful, very wealthy. This could be you in the situation, especially. The Hierophant is Taurus's card in the major arcana, and the King of Pentacles would also be earth sign energy. So that could be somebody you were dealing with, or that could represent your place in the situation. It could be that somebody in a place of power is abusing their authority in some way, and you are anxious about having to speak out about that as well. Here, in the current situation, we have the Emperor. The Emperor can represent an authority figure, a supervisor, a boss. This can be you in the situation as well, Gemini. The Emperor would be somebody who was very much in control of the situation, capable of delegating tasks to others as well. And in this, the current situation, one of our clarifiers is the Ace of Wands. So a renewed energy coming into the situation. So perhaps whatever had happened in the past, now you have seized control over that situation. And it is with the help of this Ace of Wands, this potency, this energy coming in. We have the Seven of Cups. So now a lot of different options are opening up to you. And some of them are going to be very good. And some of them are going to be not what you want at all. So it's going to take some level of discernment. Additionally, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So that's going to open up options for you also, in the sense that the Nine of Pentacles represents financial freedom and stability, such that you will be able to allocate resources toward whatever it is that you desire. So now into the future. In the future, we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man can represent sacrifices that we make for the situation as a whole. It is elemental water energy. And it can be about being stuck or kind of in a period of stasis. So not necessarily like the Eight of Swords. A bit similar to that, but not quite the same, in that this is more like kind of in a waiting room type experience. We have the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles has to do with feelings of lack, feelings of inadequacy. So you could have gotten to a certain level with this particular situation. It could have been a job. It could have been being promoted to manager because somebody had to leave because of some circumstances that maybe were not good, and then you take their place, or you are promoted because they had to leave. And now you've kind of gotten to a place where you are waiting for the next thing to happen. And in the meantime, there is kind of a feeling of lack there. Perhaps you need to be making more money for the work that you're doing. We have the Four of Swords here also, though. And the Four of Swords is a card about a period of rest and rejuvenation. It is after the battle. The war might still be going on outside, but you will have a chance to heal your wounds. And the final card for your reading today, Gemini, is the King of Wands. So where we had started this cycle in the current situation with the Ace of Wands, now you have attained full mastery over that creative energy. So, but in the future, it looks like the current path that you are on is headed toward stagnancy. So, this would be a good time to revisit some of the things about this particular situation. It does look a lot like a job situation, or you could be a small business owner. You could have come up with passive streams of income as well. That there's creativity involved in it in a larger capacity. And in the current situation, you do have all of these options, right? So try to keep some of those doors propped open if you are able. I know that's not always necessarily the case that you'll be able to do that, but you have the resources right now to set things up slightly differently in the future if that's what you choose to do. I do see, though, that the current trajectory is going to lead you towards creative fulfillment, but overall stagnancy. All right, Gemini, thank you so much for joining me for your reading today. Just a quick reminder that I will be going, after I finish this live stream, over to the members side of the channel to do the crystal scrying, so you are cordially invited to that, but your presence is appreciated here in whatever form it takes. So now I'm just going to turn these cards over and start on the Libra reading. We will be reading next for the sign of Libra. I do give personal readings, and that information is down in the description box if you're interested. And I think I'm going to be increasing my rates soon, so you might want to buy one now before I do that. So, Libra, if you would, just allow any thoughts that you have about things to come that you'd like to know about from the reading. Just allow those thoughts to rise to the forefront of your mind. And I'm going to shuffle the cards just a little bit, so bear with me. If The things about which you are contemplating are causing you turmoil or internal stress. You can just breathe through those emotions. Gently inhale and draw in the divine white light of Source. And then as you exhale, just sigh out any tension or strain and release it back to the universe so that it may be transmuted. Lots of court cards so far in your reading, Libra. Interesting. I'm going to write down your timestamp. Okay. So, Libra, here in the past, we have the moon. And the moon is a card about uncertain paths. You do know that at some point the sun will rise and the way will become much more clear. It is possible also that there could be danger along this path that is unseen because of the darkness. The moon can also have to do with creative endeavors, the arts and things. The clarifiers that we have for this in the past. We have the Jack of Spades. So this is a younger person. Pardon me just a moment. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. It's allergy season and I tend to get a little gravelly in the throat. This would be a younger person, possibly, who is finding out about things and forming opinions about them. So this could be social justice warrior type energy, possibly. And the key to this card is that there's a very binary type of discernment going on, right? There's a clear right and wrong. It's a very Star Wars logic sort of situation. And so this person might form opinions about things and become very reactionary towards them based on opinions that are not necessarily ill-informed, but perhaps a bit oversimplified. We have the Joker coming out too, and the Joker encourages you to leave behind your baggage, also to go into situations with an open mind. So that Jack of Spades energy might muddy the waters a bit too much. It would be better to be not as polarized. The third clarifier that we have for this past position is the Jack of Clubs too. So this is a very fiery, enthusiastic, and very youthful energy. These could be the same person. They could be two different people, or it could represent aspects of you, Libra, that in the past, perhaps, you had a lot of enthusiasm, you had a lot of passion for social causes, and you had a tendency to rush into situations without really fully thinking them through. And that would have led to this kind of very murky path, that things are a little bit unclear. That's not necessarily bad, right? I'm certainly not trying to say that wasn't the right thing to do. It brought you here. So, but let's continue and see what's going on in the current situation and how that might relate. We have the Strength card. We have this fair person wearing a lemniscate as a bow on their head. Oh, hi, KP. Thank you for coming. It's really good to see you. Good luck in your class. And this person is riding on what looks to be kind of a chimera. The snake for a tail, the lion's head, the other heads. And this person is able to ride this animal not just through physical strength, but through powers of persuasion, possibly charm, possibly bribery. All of these things contribute to our overall strength. So the clarifiers for the current situation, we have the Queen of Wands. And indeed, the Queen of Wands is very much like the Strength card. Somebody who is very charismatic, an excellent conversationalist, very confident, and able to bring the best out personality-wise in the people around them and surrounding themselves with the right kind of people. And for everyone, that's going to be different, right? We have the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts is a provider, a mentor, somebody who actively nurtures others. It is air of water energy. So that could be you in this situation, Libra, currently. Really having come into your own, because a lot of these energies that we're looking at are kind of natural evolutions of what we were looking at with the past energies, right? So that's possible. We also have the King of Spades coming out in the reading. And Libra, I consider this to be you coming out in your reading, because the King of Spades is very much talking about this more finely honed discernment. So we've evolved from the Jack of Spades, just really raring to go when it comes to social issues. Now we're looking at somebody who really understands the inner workings of things and is able to pass judgment if needed based on that information and that very finely tuned discernment. Able to navigate morally gray areas very well. And those would all be things, Libra, in the current situation, that would be your strengths. Your strengths. So the future, we have some completions. We have the World card here showing up. The World card is all of the fixed energies. It is about establishment also. The World card is Saturn energy and also Earth elemental energy. So very stable. And the final card of the major arcana in the tarot. We have a couple of 10s showing up, one active and one passive. And I'm going to show them to you together because I feel like they kind of go together. We have the 10 of Wands, which is about burdens and oppression. And we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is about legacy wealth and being able to be having enough material possessions and wealth and resources to pass that on to the next generation in the way that you decide. So not even necessarily that you have children and you pass your money down to them, but more that you get to decide where that money is going to go long term. So money can be a blessing and a curse in different situations. It can be a burden to have to decide what's going to happen to your legacy when you're gone. And that is something to consider for the future. This is much more like a life path type reading, in that I don't really see like a particular situation popping out here, Libra, as far as like it looks much more general, like just your life overall. The third card in the future clarifiers is the Seven of Pentacles. And this card has to do with evaluation of the work that you've put in and the payout that you've gotten in return. So when all is said and done, you're evaluating and you're weighing the burdens against the payout. Some of you might be thinking a lot currently, Libra, about where is your life headed? What is the purpose of your life? The past couple of years obviously have been very interesting for all of us, some good, some bad. Excuse me. But it looks like right now you're in a very good position and you're contemplating this about your future, about what is going to be the good to outweigh the bad in the long term of my life. What should I be doing today to invest in the future, not just financially, but in a way that's going to promote my own enjoyment of my life over possibly financial success? Because it looks like financially, there's really nothing for you to worry about here. You'll be set up regardless of, what happens moving forward. But that when you come to this point of closure, this point of completion with the World card, what is the legacy that you're leaving behind? And how is that going to look based on the work that you've put into it? And I think you still have quite a bit of time to figure that out for a lot of you Libras. Now, obviously, this is a general reading. And it looks like I said, like a lifelong sort of a reading, which is very interesting. That doesn't happen every day in readings. But this will be the time that you get to decide. All right, Libras, that is going to conclude your reading for today. I do want to mention that I will be headed over to the member side of the channel after I finish the Aquarius reading, and I will be using this geode for the crystal scrying over there. I do also give personal readings, and that information is down in the description box if you are interested. I will not solicit you to give a reading, and I am thinking of increasing my prices soon. So if you are interested, I recommend you buy one while the current pricing tiers are in place. So now we're going to move on to the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius, if you would, just gently sort of allow any thoughts that you have that you'd like resolved by the reading to float up to the forefront of your mind. If these things are stressful for you, you can gently kind of breathe through that energy as you inhale. Draw in the divine white light of Source. And then as you exhale, just release all of that tension and stress. Allow it to be returned to Source, and it will be transmuted. All right, Aquarius. So just going to shuffle these cards a little bit. Okay. Oh gosh, jumpers, huh? All right. Well, your reading has a very clear message today, Aquarius. All right, so we'll start in the past. We have the Death card. So this represents some kind of transformation or change. It's scorpionic energy. It is the energy of the planet Pluto. It can also be associated with Mars as well through that scorpionic association. I'm going to pour a bit more tea. So let's look at the clarifiers for that past placement. What kind of transformation are we talking about here? Hi, Eve. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you today. We have a couple of eights. We have an 8 of Wands and we have an 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Wands is a swift closure to a situation. Not necessarily painful like the 10 of Swords, just a situation coming to an end. So that could have been the catalyst for that transformation. The 8 of Pentacles is often about long-term career prospects. And so it could have been that you had a job that ended. Perhaps it was a contract. Perhaps it was something that you knew wasn't going to last very long. Perhaps you had gone to school to learn a certain trade and decided then not to pursue that particular path. We have here with those cards the 3 of Swords. So this would have been some kind of argument or dispute. It could have been with parents. It could have been with an employer. The 3 of Swords is typically somewhat emotionally painful. A lot of times when I've gotten the 3 of Swords in readings, it has been a precursor to a fight with a loved one. That isn't necessarily the case, but that's kind of The environment, it looks like you might have been in Aquarius in the past. So, the current situation, we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, we're looking at fixed energies. We're looking at Jupiter, and by proxy, the signs of Sagittarius and Pisces. So it can be expansion in fortune, can be expansion in psychic attunement and awareness or empathy. And it shows that many things are cyclical. And at this time, that cycle is changing to your favor, turning to your favor. We do have a couple of vibes here in the clarifiers, which is interesting because we do have fortune turning to your favor, but we also see disappointment and we see conflict. So it could be that these situations are held over from some of these past energies, and the conflict that we saw there kind of escalating to this 5 of Swords from the 3 of Swords. But it won't last. Things are going to be looking up from here. We have the Jack of Diamonds also clarifying this. So that could be an offer of a new job. It could be an offer of money. It could be money coming into you also. And the Jack of Diamonds can represent a younger person who perhaps isn't established financially, but can also represent these new opportunities coming in for you. In the future, Aquarius, I have for you the Sun card. And the Sun is always a good card to see in a reading, even if it's reversed. It always means success and good fortune will be shining upon you. And here in the future, we do have the 10 of Swords. But I think that is showing for you, Aquarius, that a lot of the unpleasant situations that you've been having to deal with, you will be leaving those behind. We also have the 8 of Cups, which shows the potential for an exodus from a situation, that you will be able to walk away from something, especially if you are getting an offer of money somewhere else or a new job. And to reinforce that, the final clarifier that I have for your reading today is the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Diamonds. And that is a new source of income. That is a new financial beginning for you in the future. And I think you already see, Aquarius, the means by which this will be happening. So I wish you the best of luck. Best of luck, best of luck. I will be going now over to the members side of the channel to do the crystal scrying forecast, the extended. You are more than welcome and invited, but your presence is appreciated here in whatever form it takes. If you enjoyed this reading, I do hope you will like, share, and subscribe and join us for more of these live stream videos. I do them every day, Monday through Thursday, around the middle of the day on the West Coast. So, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you who came out today for the live stream. It's always good to see you in the chat. I'm very happy that you came. Happy Wednesday to all of you. And I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.